What's up YouTube? My name is Sydney and I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel, The Golden MP Student. Alright y'all, so I know my hair is looking kind of funky on this side today. I don't know what the problem is. This side is normal, like typical, but you know, whatever. We're going to get through this, okay? So anyway, today I'm going to talk to you guys about the big Nclex exam, the big scary nursing test that all my nursing students know about, that you have to pass to get your nursing license. It's graduation season, so now my nursing students, my new grad nursing students, congratulations. I am going to talk to you guys about what I did to study for the Nclex, how I passed it in 75 questions, and just any tips, any things I can share with y'all to get through this exam. So stay tuned. Alright, I think I fixed it a little bit better. Okay, but anyway, you guys, I had to pass this Nclex the first time around, which I'm sure that's how you guys feel, but I really felt like I had to pass it this first time around because I needed to pass it to stay in my nurse practitioner program. It was just a big deal. I was not a nurse technically when I first entered my nurse practitioner program, so if I would have failed that Nclex the first time, it just would have really been, that would have been a whole nother thing that I would have had to stress about just to stay in the nurse practitioner school. So my Nclex, when I took it June 11th of 2018. Not that that really matters. And I found out actually the next day that I passed it. So it didn't, most people take like 2 days before they find out. Most people it takes 2 days. For some reason, mine only took a day. I found out that next morning and I was so excited. So I took it at 11:30. If y'all are taking it around lunchtime, do not eat a big lunch beforehand. Y'all, my stomach, you're already going to be nervous, so eating a huge lunch beforehand is just going to be a big no-no. Like I said, maybe bring a light snack. You know, some people it takes a long time. I was only in there maybe like an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. But yeah, so just do not eat a big meal before you go into the Nclex. What I did to study beforehand, I had about 3 weeks in between actually scheduling my Nclex and taking the Nclex. So I didn't give myself a long time because I just wanted to take it when I was fresh out of nursing school. I did not want to wait and forget anything, you know. I just made sure that I took it as quick as possible. So I bought this Lippincott book. I don't have the book anymore. I actually gave it to another nursing student, but I'll like try to insert a picture somewhere or maybe put a link to the book. It was a Lippincott book, and the book consisted of only practice questions. So a lot of books will include like content, like information that you may need to know for your that you may have learned in nursing school. It's just like a content section, and then it'll have a section with questions and the rationales. I did not want any content. I felt very prepared as far as knowing like my nursing knowledge. I felt prepared in that aspect, so I did not want to waste money on a book where half the information was like content. I felt like I was good on content. I just needed to learn how to take these questions and use my nursing brain, my critical thinking skill to answer these nursing questions. So the book I bought was straight up practice questions and rationales. Another thing, this is the most important, this app is how I passed it. I give this app all the credit for how I passed my Nclex. UWorld, y'all. UWorld was so good. When I actually started taking my test, the questions and just the format of the questions looked exactly like UWorld. The only difference that I remember is with UWorld, you can, when you're taking practice questions, you can like cross out answers that you don't think is right. Like you can double tap or do whatever to cross out answers. You can't do that on the Nclex as far as I remember after taking it. I loved UWorld. I bought like the cheapest package that you're allowed to buy. So with my package, I just got like the question answer bank. I just got like the practice questions. I didn't get an assessment, which I know a lot of people really like. They say it's really good because it actually gives you a percentage of your likeliness to pass the Nclex. So I think that would be really cool. But I was good with just practice questions, and you know, it comes with the rationales. It's all the different formats. You can place an order, select all that apply. What else? It had ECGs on there. So yeah, like it was so similar. So I absolutely recommend UWorld. I really give that company, application, whatever, all the credit for me passing my Nclex. Yeah, when I was at my Nclex taking the test after using UWorld, you know, I really just felt like I was confident stepping out of my Nclex. So again, really recommend it. What else did I want to say about UWorld? Oh, when I bought the bank, I probably used like 60%. I was probably able to answer 60% of like the practice questions. So I didn't get to go through all the questions, but I did about 60% of them, just every day, just constantly for those 3 weeks or however long it took me to take my test. Just every day doing practice questions. UWorld has this ability, you can do like 75 questions at one time. I constantly would do 75 questions at a time, and I'll kind of look at my time, the time it would take me to do these 75 questions, and I would look at my results at the end. And the reason I did that and really recommend that is because with the Nclex, the minimum amount of questions you're going to get on your Nclex is 75. So why not, you know, give yourself like practice runs? You know, I use that to like practice like taking an Nclex, because once I got to my test date, I really wasn't worried about time as I was actually taking the test. But there is a time limit for the Nclex, so you can't just be there all day. You know, you get like, I don't know, 6 hours, something like that. You get a long time, you know, you get a lot of time. But say you get the maximum number of questions, which I think is like 365 questions, you know, 365 questions in 6 hours, that's pretty like minute to minute for each question. So you just have to take that into account. So that's why I recommend doing like a mini test at least maybe once every day. I was constantly doing it back and forth, just constantly back to back doing 75 question tests. But if I was like, I don't know, I wasn't working during the time, but if I was like somewhere, like, I don't know, out to eat with my family or something like that, I would do maybe like 5 at a time at the table, you know, those kind of things. But for the most part, I was doing like practice tests, like 75 questions, practice runs with myself. Oh, something I didn't do that a lot of people in my nursing class actually did and they really liked was the, oh gosh, what was it? The Hearst review. So I did not do the Hearst review with my class. My class was offered through Hearst or that company to do a review, and I think they got like a discounted price maybe. And it was like a Hearst course over the course of 2 or 3 days. And like it was actually held at my school. So like they went to school like regular and did this review over however many days it was, 2 or 3 days. I didn't do that. I actually don't learn well trying to study for like long periods of time, or like trying to do a review over long periods of time like that. Even now I struggle if I have like multiple classes in one day. I just get really burnt out trying to do like those long reviews like that over 2 or 3 days. You know, that's just too much for me personally. But I know a lot of people in my class like the Hearst review. They got like a workbook, they got like online questions, but a lot of people really recommended that in my class. So yeah, you might want to check that out. So another thing that I actually forgot about, I'm just now remembering, was ATI. So we actually had to take ATI exams all throughout our program, but I know a lot of people actually use that to study for the Nclex. We got like a box full of all their books for the different topics, for the different specialties or what have you, for that ATI exams that we would have to take each semester. And so I had like all the online stuff. I had the physical books and that kind of thing from ATI, and I probably pushed back from it because we took it throughout the nursing program, and so I just was like I don't, you know. But that might be a good option if you have that available, to use that to study for the exam as well. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe not. That's just something I remembered last minute. So yeah, guys, that is what I did personally to study for the Nclex. Like I said, I passed in 75 questions. Now, when I went into that testing center and got to the parking lot, sat down and gave myself a breather before I actually walked in to take my test, I was not 100% confident. You know, I was like anybody else. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen. I prayed, you know, just tried to, you know, build some confidence and build myself up to go in and take the exam. So I was not just thinking I was going to kill it when I went in there. But once I got in and started answering questions, you know, I was very confident in a lot of the questions. I didn't know everything. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to feel like you know everything. But I was very confident in myself. I did not go back and switch. Well, you can't go back, but I didn't switch a lot of answers. You know, my first instinct, I went with it and I stuck with it to the end. I did not switch, and I promised myself that beforehand that I would not switch answers. So once I clicked it, that was it, locked and loaded. Like, okay, next question. Yeah, so just, you can do this. You are amazing. You got through your nursing program. You are prepared to do this. You have all the tools that you need to take this test and kill it. So don't be stuck on the number of questions that you end up having to take to get through your test. It doesn't matter. I know plenty of people who took the test with over like 200 questions, 300 questions, whatever the question number is. I think it's 265, not 365. But so it doesn't matter, and they passed. That was my point. They passed. So it doesn't matter. Just do you study as hard as you can, get through it. You'll be fine. You'll be great. All right, you guys. So that's all I have for today. Leave any tips in the comments about what worked for you when taking the Nclex. Tell me what didn't work for you. Leave any Nclex testing stories, any funny stories that you may have, any good stories, encouraging stories you guys may have about taking the Nclex. And again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay golden. Bye.